Melton, what are you doing creeping up on me?
Actually, I'm creeping up on Eastern spotted newts for my summer biology course. What are you dudes looking for so intently?
What are we looking for? My Kappa Alpha ring. Yeah, I lost it out here at the party, and Zach here's helping me look for it.
Well, if you see any spotted newts, let me know.
Sure thing, Melton.
Ow. Well, I do remember seeing Zach and Powell in the woods one day. They were looking for something.
And what were they looking for?
Powell's fraternity ring. He said he lost it.
Thank you, Mr. Biddlecombe. No further questions.
If you may step down.
Oh, sorry.
That wasn't too bad.
No, but Nora's just warming up. See the way she's tapping her teeth with the frames of her glasses? Mm-hmm. That means she's getting ready to go in for the jugular.
Great.
Yeah.
You ready?
You bet. Let's do it.
Ms. Gannon, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. The defense calls Todd Manning. Todd Manning.
You okay?
I was till now.
Just remember, you know the true story, no matter what kind of lies Todd Manning tries to tell.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God.
Mr. Manning, about Landview University.
Not much to tell. I'm a regular guy. Average student.
A regular son of a...
Let's not be modest. You're an absolute standout on the Landview University football team. You're the top-ranking player.
I played a little defensive end, yeah. But what I'm most proud of is my affiliation with the Fellowship of Athletes. We do a lot of community service.
Yes, and you are also a member of the Future Entrepreneurs of America, the Community Relations Committee, and Kappa Alpha Delta Fraternity. Isn't that true? Is that where you met Marty Saybrook?
No. She wasn't hanging out with the fraternity crowd back then. The first time I actually met Marty was one night at Rhodey's Tavern.
Let's talk about that night. Is that also the same night that Jason Webb and Swade Pruitt testified about? When you instructed Powell Lord to get Marty Saybrook's brassiere as some kind of trophy?
It was a pledge prank for a scavenger hunt. I know it sounds crass, but believe me, it's mild next to what some of the other fraternities put their pledges through. And I thought Marty had a sense of humor. I've since learned otherwise.
Marty didn't appreciate the prank?
Yes and no.
Can you explain that?
Well, I thought she was mad at me. But the next time I saw her at Rhodey's, she kept looking at me. You know, that way.
Mr. Manning, are you saying that Marty Saybrook was being provocative?
Objection.
Let me put it another way. Mr. Manning, did Marty Saybrook do more than look at you?
Yes, ma'am. She bought me a beer. We had a few. We danced a little. Then I took her home.
To the fraternity house?
No, to her house. She invited me.
And what happened there?
She took me upstairs. We had sex.
Objection. Your Honor, Ms. Gannon has once again managed to introduce some aspect of Ms. Saybrook's sexual history, and that is totally inadmissible.
Mr. Gannon seems to forget that you've already ruled on the rape shield law as it applies to the defendant's sexual history.
Thank you. I don't need to be reminded, Counselor. Miss Saybrook's past relationships with any and all defendants is admissible and relevant. All other past sexual conduct is not. Objection overruled. Continue, Miss Gannon.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Manning, did you force yourself on Marty Saybrook that night?
Absolutely not.
What happened after you had sex with her?
She went weird.
Your Honor.
Sustained.
Without the adjectives, what happened?
It was football season, okay? I had a curfew. Besides, I had a psychology exam the next morning. So when she begged me to stay, I did my...
Wait a minute. Marty asked you to stay the night?
She pleaded with me. And when I said I couldn't, that I had to get back to the campus, she got upset. I felt sorry for her. I wanted to stay, but my teammates were counting on me, so I had to leave her. If I had to do again, I would have stayed.
Why do you say that?
Because I didn't know at the time how much this would hurt her, make her angry. Angry enough to start this horrible lie about me and my friends.
Your Honor, if the witness is going to be allowed to make prejudicial statements without regard...
Very quick, very quick. You beat me to it. Sustained. The jury will disregard the witness's last remark. And Miss Gannon, you know better. You will ask the questions of the witness, and the witness will respond without editorial. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Chip with Marty Saybrook was friendly.
Intimate.
Then how do you account for the testimony of Emily Haynes and Milton Biddlecombe that you were arguing loudly at the spring fling?
Sure we argued. I just said our relationship was intimate. Look, when Marty and I are together, sparks fly. Sometimes it's sexy. Sometimes it's more like an argument. But we always get off on it.
So it's kind of like a game between you.
That's it.
And the inflatable doll that was tossed around at the spring fling labeled Marty the Party Girl?
Another game. Look, I know it sounds gross, but believe me, if you'd heard the whole story, you'd know that Marty got the last laugh on me.
So you weren't acting out of any kind of anger because you'd failed the calculus exam?
Sure, I was angry. I was angry about the exam. Yeah, it almost cost me a year's worth of eligibility for football. And maybe my first impulse was to blame Marty for distracting me with a lot of heavy breathing instead of prepping me for the test like she said she would. Luckily, I took a retest and passed, so everything's cool.
So the night of the spring fling, there was no hidden agenda, no secret revenge you planned against Marty?
No. I was there to have fun, like she was. I figured we'd have a few beers, get into one of our usual fights, and then make up, like always.
And did you make up?
Yes, ma'am. Upstairs, in Kevin Buchanan's room.
Mr. Manning, what exactly did happen in Kevin Buchanan's room?
The Kappa Alpha Delta fraternity. If one of the brothers is in trouble, we all pitch in.
That's why you went upstairs that night?
Yeah. Some of the brothers had been drinking. Some of the freshmen were feeling a little sick from too much beer. Immaturity. So, Zach, Powell, and I went upstairs to make sure that everything was okay. And that's when we saw her.
Saw whom?
Marty Saybrook.
Where was she?
Kevin's door was open. And she was lying back on the bed. And she had this funny grin on her face, like she gets when she's up to something wild and crazy.
Objection!
Sustained. Mr. Manning, a little less vivid, more precise, if you don't mind.
Mr. Manning, did you force your way into Kevin Buchanan's room?
No, ma'am. Well, she invited us. She said that the real party was about to begin.